Last time, the fall of the Western Roman Empire and the dawn of the Middle Ages. Even after the Western Empire fell, the Eastern Roman Empire centered on Constantinople continued the Roman story. One emperor sought to recover former Western Roman territories and restore imperial rule there. History Episode 33. Medieval Era. The Byzantine Empire. Part 1. The East takes a different path. The Eastern Empire also faced repeated invasions, but its strong attacks and administrative base helped it preserve imperial government. Church councils sought to define doctrine, but divisions within the Eastern Church deepened after the Council of Chalcedon. Latin remained important in administration and the army, while Greek and many regional languages were also used across the Eastern Mediterranean. In this way, the East kept the Roman name, while gradually walking a different path. Part 2. From humble birth to emperor. Justinian was born into a farming family in the Balkans. His uncle Justin entered the army as an ordinary soldier, and rose to command the imperial guard. Justin brought his nephew to Constantinople, had him educated, and kept him close. Justin adopted his nephew, and Justinian became co-emperor before rising to sole emperor in 527 CE. Part 3. A Dream of One Rome Again. Justinian sought to recover the old Western Roman lands and restore imperial rule there. Emperor Anastasius I, who ruled before Justin, reformed taxation and currency, leaving a large surplus. This stable financial foundation later helped Justinian pursue his ambitious plans. Justinian married Theodora, a former stage performer. An unusual marriage for an imperial heir at the time. Part 4. The Nika Riots. In Constantinople, the blue and green chariot racing factions had long been bitter rivals. Ordinary citizens had also grown weary of heavy taxes and abusive officials. When demands to pardon two faction members who survived an execution were rejected, pent-up anger erupted at once. According to Procopius, the cornered Justinian considered leaving the city. In the same account, Theodora firmly refuses to flee, insisting they must defend the throne. According to the accounts, after Narses drew part of the blues away, troops under Belisarius and Mundus suppressed the revolt, and many lost their lives. Part 5. United by Law. Centuries of accumulated Roman laws had grown inconsistent and tangled. Justinian commissioned a team of jurists led by Tribonian to select, revise, and compile existing laws and juristic writings into a new legal collection. This legal collection, now known as the Corpus Juris Civilis, later greatly influenced continental Europe's civil law tradition. The collection provided a common legal standard applied across the empire's administration and courts. Part 6. Belisarius, Narses, and the recovery of the western provinces. With a relatively small expeditionary force, Belisarius toppled the Vandal kingdom in North Africa remarkably quickly. In 536 CE, Belisarius crossed to Italy and entered Rome through an opened gate. But under King Totila, the Ostrogoths regrouped and recovered much of Italy. prolonging the war for years. Amid the long war, Italian towns and farmland were left badly devastated. After Narses defeated the main Ostrogothic armies, most of Italy returned to imperial rule, but at immense cost. Through a separate expedition, parts of the southern Spanish coast also came under Eastern Roman control. Part 7. A dome built beneath the sky. The great cathedral of Constantinople had burned down during the Nika riots. Justinian ordered a far grander new cathedral to be built on the same site. Anthemius and Isidore completed Hagia Sophia, with a design combining pendentives and massive piers. Contemporary accounts described Hagia Sophia's vast dome and light-filled interior with awe. Part 8. Plague and its price. The plague was recorded at Pelusium in Egypt in 541 CE, and reached Constantinople the following year, in 542. The plague spread rapidly across the empire, and Justinian himself fell ill. Countless citizens and soldiers died from the plague, dealing the empire a severe blow. The damage caused by plague added to the cost of prolonged wars, increasing the strain on the empire's population, tax revenues, and military resources. Behind the glory of conquest lay the lives of ordinary people who bore its true cost. Part 9. After Justinian. Justinian's reign was a major turning point in territorial expansion, law, and architecture. But its achievements came at a high cost. After his death, the Lombards soon took much of Italy, though North Africa and parts of Italy stayed imperial for much longer. Yet the corpus juris civilis he left behind endured far beyond the empire's own borders. Byzantium continued as a Christian Roman Empire, in which Greek gradually became the main language of administration and culture. Yet beyond its eastern frontier, its old rival the Sasanian Persian Empire still stood strong. Part 10. Heraclius and a new threat. When Heraclius became emperor in 610 CE, the empire was deeply shaken by internal turmoil. The Sasanians conquered Syria and Palestine, captured Jerusalem and carried off the True Cross in 614, and took Egypt by 619. Desperate, Heraclius personally led his army deep into Persian territory, in a counter-offensive. After turning the war with victory at Nineveh in 627 CE, Heraclius restored the True Cross to Jerusalem in 630, after the war had ended. Only a few years later, armies from a newly united Arabia appeared on the eastern Roman frontier. Justinian's restoration of Roman rule remained incomplete, but his legal reforms and Hagia Sophia endured for centuries. Next time, we explore the birth of Islam, a new faith born on the Arabian Peninsula. This new faith and its community would soon transform the balance of power between Byzantium and Persia. That story continues in the next episode.